Welcome back to Grit and Gut Podcast, where toughness talks the grit, the grind, the gut, and the greatness, all things wrestling. I'm your co-host, Coach Craig Van Dyke.
And I'm Mike Harbison. And today we are going to be talking about the amazing, so awesome National Duels. Glad it's back.
Heck yeah. But hey, there were some shots fired, Mike. I'm in
Yeah.
like West Virginia, and I got shrapnel coming from Penn State. I got shrapnel coming from Ohio State. What's going on?
Oh boy, yeah. Tom Ryan. I mean, he had some choice words for Cael. And why Penn State's not participating in national duels. And Cael's statement, yeah, Baba, we there, bro.
Cael came back. Cael came back with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and Cael's statement, it's kind of like a shot. I took it, and I don't know, but I took it as a shot to everyone else when Cael was like, well, we had so many of our guys competing for world medals for multiple world teams that it just really didn't fit into our training schedule. So to me, what I translated and I heard was, hey, if you guys had more guys on world teams competing for world medals, you guys wouldn't have time to train for this national duels neither.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's interesting,
Yeah.
So, a lot of people, and you can go on forums and people complain about
Oh
people
man.
ducking
Yeah.
competition or whatever here and there. Even within the national duels, people were complaining about the Iowa heavyweight
Uh,
not wrestling in the
Cuter,
final
yeah.
match, but he didn't wrestle in the other matches either.
No.
So, Mike, what's your take on people ducking competition and like, for example, Penn State not being there, or maybe a guy forfeiting the last match if the duel's wrapped up, or what are your thoughts on these
Yeah.
things?
I I'm a competitor, man. So like if you tell me, I mean, man, yeah, like I lost a match at the Open that I was winning because I kept wanting to score points instead of just
Hmm.
riding it out. You know what I mean? And I ended up, dude, all right. Anyways, but yeah, so like I'm always gonna err on the side of I'm going to compete. So,
Hmm.
it would be hard for me. It's kind of hard. Like it's one situation like the cuter thing. He's injured for sure. You know what I'm saying? And he's sitting out for a reason,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But to be like, oh, we've either guaranteed the win or we've guaranteed the loss in a duel. So we're not going to wrestle this weight. You're going to just sit out. Like, yeah, no, it'd be a hard selling point for me.
Yeah, Mike. So I've coached for many years, and
Yep.
probably early in my career, I would kind of err on the side of you should just wrestle. It doesn't matter if you're
Yeah.
hurt or blah 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 blah. But I'll tell you what, as the years go along, I've learned to be careful, to be quick to judgment on what's going on with the other coach on the other side, and
Yeah.
what they have going on, whether it's an individual match, whether it's not attending an event. Um,
Yeah.
we just don't know what's going on. I'll give you an example. Some years ago, some of you guys will remember Bernie Truax. He was a great wrestler. He
Yeah.
multiple time All American in college. Ended up at Penn State wrestling there, and All American there again. But he's from San Diego, and his dad, after a duel, they at their school they did a little a little face off, and they go shake
Yeah.
hands and stuff. Well, I had a kid that was on discipline with me, and I let him go out for the face off, but he wasn't going to wrestle no matter what the situation of the duel. He was suspended for
Yeah.
that duel, and the other coach, knew it. Not that we give lineups or anything like that, but he knew. I said, hey, look, there's going to be some kids that come out there that aren't wrestling there. So we'll do your face off because you guys want to do it. I want you guys to, have a good show for your fans, but, you know, be aware. So the
Yeah.
other coach knew we were friendly, but Bernie's dad, Big Bernie, he's also named Bernie
Yeah.
Truex. Man, after the match, he's blah 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 in my ear. You talk
That's
wrestling, and
awesome.
of course, I'm always rooting for younger. I want to call him Little Bernie because he wrestled
Mm.
197,
Yeah.
so he
You
ain't
know,
little, but he didn't know. And later on, I go, look, here's what the situation
yeah,
was, and okay, I get. So we don't know what's going on,
exactly.
and Cael firing those shots back, is that the real reason that
Yeah.
they weren't there? We don't know. Was that just
Yeah.
in Cael's, he's like the master of recruiting. that's
Oh
like a
man.
little recruiting
Yeah.
statement that he made right there. So
Yeah.
he's not even maybe answering that question. He's like, how do I keep recruiting world level guys? And then your little national tournament ain't such a
Yeah.
big deal, you know?
Was he playing chess? You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
think so. I think
Yeah.
so. But Tom Ryan is a fantastic coach, and let me
Phenomenal.
tell you, his team was ready for this. They
They
came to
were
scrap. Mm.
they were popping, and they were almost like it was almost like they had the biggest chip on their shoulder for almost
Mhm.
like I don't know, maybe they felt disrespected by not being one of the, highest seeds to come into, for the dual tournament. I don't know, but man, they came out just guns blazing.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Yeah.
took it to Wyoming, 33 to
Yeah.
6, I think is what it
Yep.
was. And then Minnesota again, just bam, punched them all up in the face, you know?
Yeah, and then in the final, of course, they took care of business versus Iowa, and there was some upsets in there.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, Ohio State just, man, up and down the lineup looks great. And then, you got Feldman, who won a match against the number one ranked wrestler. We saw, I think,
Yeah.
four number one ranked wrestlers lose
Yeah.
in the
Something like
national
that, yeah.
duels here. But Feldman's looking good. I mean, just
Yeah,
oh
but
my
hold on,
gosh.
can we talk about
Yeah.
that match a
You
little
want to
bit?
talk about
Can
that
we?
match?
Will you
Okay.
let
We
me?
can talk about it.
Okay, alright, 'cause
Yeah.
look, okay, AJ was Mr. Fast Twitch, and he was the only one that was, like, firing any fast twitch musculature and going for some stinking takedowns. And, like, and Feldman
Mike, I don't think that's part of the rules. I think the rules are,
oh,
I think Feldman won by the rules.
I know, but man, I don't know. I mean, maybe there should have been a stall call called on Feldman, because he was definitely backing up a lot. And look, I am also a Feldman fan. Like I went crazy coming out here to the Cliff Keen duels in Vegas, and I was crazy
Mhm.
following him around like a fangirl, watching him wrestle, post neck surgery and all that, right? Like,
Yeah.
so I'm a Feldman fan, right?
Mhm.
I wasn't expecting this style of Feldman, right? Like I was expecting this to be a more grittier match, right? Like
Mhm.
not a defensive game waiting for AJ to hit a shot and then, getting the defensive
Sure.
takedown. But again, that's what he had to do to win. I
I was
get
gonna
that.
say he had the scouting report. He knew that was coming, and he scored when he needed to score and
Yes.
got it done. But that kind of brings this up though, Mike. This is
Yeah.
early season, and so some people are complaining about the timing of the national duel stuff. Man, this is a great way to kick off. In my
Oh,
opinion, this is a great way to kick. We're getting top level matchups right away.
bro.
Whew, love it.
And on top of that, like again though, this is the perfect time to have it
Yeah.
because everybody's fresh, season's
Yep.
starting off, different things like that. Nobody will want to do a national duels, let's say in March or April or whatever, right?
Right.
Like
Right.
right
Of
before,
course.
or
Yeah.
I'm sorry, February
Y-
or
Yeah.
March timeframe or
Yeah.
January, even right
Yeah.
before you got the NCAA's. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Nobody would participate in that, and you couldn't
Yeah.
expect them to. But
For sure.
like the timing right now, kicking off the season with this national duels for wrestling fans, this is what this was for.
Oh,
Right?
heck yeah.
This was
Oh,
for
heck yeah.
us. This was not
Absolutely.
for those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at the number 8 team at the Nationals, that was Mizzou, and they're a fantastic
They're
team.
legit.
Illinois Yeah, Illinois took 7th,
Yeah.
Virginia Tech 6th, Minnesota, who we know is a great team,
Bro.
5th,
Yeah.
Nebraska, who has been a lot of topic of are they the number 2 team in the
Yeah.
country, took 4th.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State beat them in the 3-4 match. So Oklahoma State was 3rd.
Yep.
Iowa 2nd. Of course, Ohio State was the team champions. But I mean, you talk about getting duels like this, and we know the NCAA national tournament in March is the crown jewel of all
Oh,
things wrestling in the United States. It's the most popular event that there
yes.
is. But hey, you don't get to watch every single Ohio State guy wrestle each
No.
Iowa guy in that. So the dual
Yeah.
format and this is amazing. You know, the other thing is, Mike, the teams got to earn some money for being
Oh,
here too. And that's
yeah.
great. So having a sponsor and your team going and earning some money for your program, dude, it's huge. It's great.
Well, and, let's be honest, man, we've all been around wrestling our whole lives, and
Hmm.
wrestling's not a sport that brings a lot of money with it, right? It's just
Right.
now
Right.
in the last few years, like our world team athletes and stuff like that are actually being able to make a living by
Hmm.
wrestling, right? Back in the day, that
Hmm.
was not a possibility. And if you talk to any of the old school world team members, I mean, they're traveling with a duffel bag, riding
Yeah.
trains in countries, sleeping on the
Oh
floor
yeah.
of gyms, to
Yep.
compete, right? So,
Yep.
like, this is amazing for the
This
sport
is, yeah,
in the
absolutely.
future, right? Like moving forward, like somebody, pay.com, was willing to throw down that much money to
Yeah.
promote this, to put it on, and it was
Heck yeah.
ev and everybody talks about how amazing it was. The venue, the setup, and Bach Arena is
Hmm.
always gonna be amazing, right? But, just I think, yeah, now would I love to see them have it in Vegas? Oh, yeah, right? Just a
Well,
plug
yeah,
right
it's
there, you know?
sure, for sure. It's
Oh,
probably staying in Oklahoma because that's where they're based out of, right? And
oh,
but hey,
yeah,
that's
yep,
okay. If they're the ones willing to put up the
for
money
sure.
and do this, let's do it. You know,
Let's
the
do it.
what we've created for wrestlers now is so much better. To your point,
Oh,
I know
yeah,
the Brands brothers were training for the Olympics working at Subway, man. And you're talking about
exactly.
the Brands brothers, two of the greatest wrestlers of all time in the
Yes.
world, and they got to
Yeah.
go work as Subway to live their Olympic dream. So
Oh,
so
yeah.
now, and this has even come down to college athletes where we have NILs and stuff like that, so they can just really focus on being
Yeah.
the best wrestlers they can be, the best in the world. You look at a country like Russia, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
They do that. They do that from a
Yeah.
young age. These guys get to focus and be wrestlers,
Yeah.
and that's all they're doing.
Yep.
And in Russia, hey, you got 5, 6 guys deep that could probably win world medals in
Oh,
all of
yeah.
those, weights. And
Yeah.
they're not they're definitely a very political way of making the team there. And
But yeah,
sometimes they
but
got some weird
oh, yeah.
wrestle offs,
Yeah, yeah.
and if you
But
go to Russian nationals, you better have some security with you. You might get attacked, you might get a gun pulled on you.
yeah,
Them Russian nationals are crazy. However,
yeah,
they do support the wrestlers
yeah,
in a really good way, and we're starting to do that in the US. And
we
let me
are.
tell you,
Yeah,
we
those are
talked about
awesome.
like Trent Hidlay, right?
Oh, man.
And he
Yep.
comes out and he wins a world title. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know that he would have even been on that path if he didn't have the support
the
around him to
support,
do
right?
it. So,
Yeah,
yeah, so all these things are connected. I know we're talking college today, Mike,
yeah.
but all these things are interconnected. Get more money into the sport and let guys focus on being great athletes. It's great for the country as a
Oh,
whole.
yeah. And, I
Yeah.
mean, and the little bonuses that they had, right? Like the was it fastest takedown, most takedowns,
Yeah,
or different
yeah,
things like that,
yeah,
like, it
yeah,
was
very
cool,
cool.
man, that's awesome, right? Like,
Absolutely.
I loved it, man. But yeah,
Heck yeah. So, Mike, who was a wrestler that stood out to you in the national duels? One
you know
wrestler who stood out to you.
yeah, so one that was really exciting for me to see was, Davino to start to, like, feel like, this is his year, right? And he's making a
Mhm.
statement, and
Yep.
he punched a couple really good wins. And,
Mhm.
he was a top high school recruit. I don't know where he was at when he was recruited. I think it was like 2 years ago, but he had a lot of potential. And you got to respect the coach for actually
Mhm.
pulling him back and saying, hey, let's develop you a little bit. Let's bring you out when you're ready. I don't care what the world says. I know we
Right.
recruited you and we're going to do the best for you that
Yep.
we can. And
Yep.
it's cool to finally see him on the mat really, like, really putting it down, man. So that was cool. What about for you, Craig?
And I don't know a ton about this guy, but I know he was
Yeah.
there was some questions about this guy coming into Division 1, but Dean of Iowa, man,
Oh, great choice.
he
Yeah.
was first of all, he looks like the Hulk, number
Dude,
1. So
for real.
he's got the look of that,
Yeah.
but his wrestling's just so smooth, slick,
So good, dude.
and he battles. You talk about grit and gut, man. This guy has it. I love the way he wrestles. You know,
Yeah.
he went undefeated at the national duels, and
Yep.
I think he was unranked before.
Dude.
Now he's I think they have him ranked eighth now, but man, he had just he had wins over Mizzou, Illinois, big win over Cody Merrill of Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
That might have been like the marquee win for him in this, and in that win, Iowa over Oklahoma State. But man, really impressive.
Yeah.
I love to see a guy. It's kind of an underdog story, I think,
Oh, for
because he
sure.
wasn't. This guy, his highest finish in high school is like sixth at state,
Yeah.
and now he's a Division I starter at a program that took second at the national duels. I mean, it's crazy. I love it.
Oh, yeah, and, and that's I think that's, like I think, that kind of story right there embodies wrestling, right?
Yep.
Like, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
who you are, where you're from. When we step on that mat, it's you and me, right? And
That's right.
anybody, any given day can win a
Heck yeah.
match,
Heck yeah.
and he's put together quite a few matches, that I think a lot of people didn't think that he was gonna win. And he
Heck
came
yeah.
he came out and he put it down, man. And oh my gosh, it was
And that's
awesome, dude.
another
Yeah.
yeah, that's another great thing about these national duels. Like, he's on the map early in the season now, and he got a new fan right here, and I'm sure he's got a bunch of others after
Oh
this
yeah.
event. So I'm all on board with the national duels. I thought it was a great event.
Yeah.
Awesome wrestling, and really great for the sport.
It was amazing. And the wrestling, like you said, there's not really an opportunity where you're going to be able to watch all these guys wrestle at the same time. Even at the Big 10 championships or Big 12 championships, you're not going to be able to watch all these matches happening, right? And
Mhm.
Flo did a great job of, the quad screen, and everything and
Oh,
being
yeah,
able to,
yeah, that was great. Yeah,
oh man.
that was cool.
And Shane Sparks, I love it I love
He's
when he's
always great.
oh my
He's
gosh, when
always great.
he's calling
You
it
You
because
know what I've noticed about him? And
what's that?
and so when he first started, he would do his thing and he's got that great voice, but
Yeah.
now he's like really sharing his opinions and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that. I love that. That's great.
Love it, dude. Because he loves wrestling. Like, he's like you and me,
Yes.
right? He
Yes. Yeah,
loves wrestling in his
for
heart,
sure.
in his bones, in his
Yeah.
core.
Yeah.
It's in his soul, man. He's a wrestler. So, I
Heck yeah.
love having him as a commentator, especially now, like you said, he puts his emotions in there, thoughts and
Yeah.
different things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So,
I love
it's
it.
great. He's awesome. I love that dude, man.
Awesome. Heck yeah. All right, Mike. Well, that's the national duels. Great event. And
Oh, yeah.
hopefully it sticks around for a long time.
Yep, for sure. So thanks for tuning in to Grit and Gut, where toughness talks, because on the mat or in life, toughness isn't given, it's earned.